Hey my lovelies, it's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do this Wednesday's Facebook card reveals for you all. This week I'm working with the 8 coin tattoo tarot, which is a pretty cool deck, this one. So yeah, let's have a little look at the energies, let's have a little look at the cards and see what's happening. Let's just see what's kind of going on for us. Sorry, I'm covered in Oscar's fur. His glitter fur, as I call it, bless him. Okay, so if you guys were drawn to card number 1, we're going into the energies of the Hanged Man. So when the Hanged Man shows, it's often a time when we're feeling a little bit stuck. It's often a time when we're feeling really caught between head and heart, rock and hard place. So sometimes with the Hanged Man, we have a version of where we want to be in the world. We have a version of what we would like our life to represent and how we want to be living, but sometimes physical situations, circumstances are kind of blocking us from maybe having that end goal or having that part of life at the moment. So sometimes with the Hangman, we can feel quite stuck, we can feel quite restricted. And then what happens very often is we get imposter syndrome kicking in, we get sort of that lower level energy kicking in, we get that kind of real detrimental thought pattern start to play up. So it's really important with the Hanged Man not to sort of take yourself into a space of detriment. And it's easier said than done sometimes because, we all go through things in life that sometimes are very overwhelming. They do get the better of us, and sometimes it's very heavy, it's very hard to negotiate that. And we can be vulnerable, we can sort of, we can sort of trip ourselves up a little bit unnecessarily. That's fine, that's part of the process of being human. The worry or the fear or the not so nice part is when we choose to stay stuck there, when we choose to give in to, the suspension of the Hanged One or the Hanged Man. So, we can be vulnerable, we can crash and burn, and we can do that as many times as we need to, as long as we get back up, as long as we don't sort of allow situations or circumstances to get the better of us, or we don't sort of rob ourselves of our own light. So it's not so easy to do with this particular pictation, but usually I sort of say turn this card upside down because we kind of really gain perspective. The noose is around the foot, so perhaps sometimes we are tripping ourselves up unnecessarily, putting a lot of detriment, a lot of pressure upon ourselves, and that isn't always good, it's not always helpful. So sometimes, even if there are vulnerabilities going around, we have to be kind, we have to be gentle, we have to heal, we have to nurture ourselves in those moments of change, in these moments of things happening. And this big ball of light is still coming out from the crown chakra, so you have so much magic, you have so much potential to still kind of give the world and to be within the world. And it's just not dropping the ball on yourself. But we're all human, and sometimes life gets heavy, life gets hard going. Sometimes we do get caught up in those cycles where we feel like same shit, different day. Sometimes we get in those cycles where we don't want to be in this world anymore. Sometimes suicidal thoughts or tendencies can show up for people, or anxieties or depressions. But it's how we negotiate that stuff, so it's not staying stuck in anything. And even if you are in a place of sort of suspended energy, it's not going to be your world forever. There may be a set time frame to something, but energy is changing all the time. And do remember the power of choice. Do remember the power of free will. Are you choosing to stay stuck here, or actually can you sort of make some adjustments? Because very often, sometimes with the Hanged One or the Hanged Man, we choose to stay stuck in a situation, but that doesn't actually have to be our reality. But sometimes we give up on ourselves. And this is finding the love, this is finding the value, this is finding that little bit of self-acceptance to go a little bit deeper and to just go for what you need to do, to be what you need to be, and to live a better quality version of life. If you're not liking an aspect of something that's going on at the moment, you can be the change for that. Now then, as we're moving into card number 2, we're going into the energies of strength. Strength is all about inner strength. It's about really being able to overcome hurdles, setbacks, circumstances. Sometimes things happen in our life which we don't kind of have control over. Sometimes we're put into situations that can be very confusing. They can be very overwhelming for us. Sometimes people behave in certain ways that we wouldn't necessarily understand or we wouldn't necessarily agree with. And so sometimes things happen in our life where we have to really dig into a very deep kind of core of strength, whether it's strength on a physical level or practical level or emotional, mentally or spiritually. But what's great with the card of strength is it's not giving up. So even if this is happening over here, we don't have to accept that. And strength is finding the recovery. It's finding the way to move forward. I always feel like with the strength card, it shows up a lot when people are maybe stuck on a little bit of a speed bump of life and they can't quite see the way forward. They can't quite see the way to overcome. And sometimes we have to dig deep. So you have to go into a little bit of an inner strength that we didn't realize we had before. But very often there is a road or a stepping stone or something that becomes clear and allows us that renegotiation and allows us that change of path moving forward. So don't give up on yourself, even if it's been a testing time. Strength also shows up a lot when there's a mother's love coming in from the world of spirit, or perhaps a maternal kind of parent or grandparent. So it could be a nan as well in the spirit world watching over you. So some of you guys, if you've been drawn to card number 2, might be really feeling the love of a mother in spirit, or like a nan, or even an auntie, or someone that was just like a bit of a maternal figure for you, giving you that boost of love, giving you that boost of recognition, and draw on that strength that comes in from the world of spirit. And of course, ask your loved ones, ask your spirit guides, your angels, your gatekeepers to help you if you are feeling stuck and if you're not feeling like you've got any support on the earthly plane. There's always that kind of support system coming in from spirit, but sometimes we don't call upon it. We almost have this bit of self-entitlement a little bit sometimes within people's energy where we expect them to be there. And actually spirit very much like to be invited. They like to be asked in. They don't want to necessarily block what's happening, and they can't always walk for us. But if we invite their energy in and we blend with them, they will try their best to sort of help us move forward from situations. So maybe that's being encouraged for some of us this week. But, you know, if you're caught in a little bit of a rock and a hard place, there will be a way forward. And sometimes this is also a bit of a celebration of your strength. So if it has been really sort of challenging, if it's been very overwhelming, just look back over your shoulder and give yourself that recognition, that credibility, that celebration, you know, of what you've gone through. And you may not have liked what you've gone through, and it may have been circumstances beyond your control, but celebrate the fact that you haven't given up and you have tried to keep going, you know. So an interesting one. This is all about being able to kind of tame the beast and overcome the problems, the situations, the setbacks, but our own mechanics, our own behavior, and really owning how we operate plays a role in that, you know. And sometimes people don't like to own that, or they don't like to see that side of the coin, but it's being accountable for your own energy as well with this a little bit. And finally, if you've been drawn to card number 3, we're going into the energy lines of the Magician. The Magician is a time for really unique, rare, beautiful magic. It's a time to really invest in yourself in the most deepest and most realist and most authentic of ways. The Magician energy is about going the distance, and it's a real time about mind over matter. So lots of opportunities are going to be opening up for you. Lots of great things are going to start to play out. Magician comes in a lot when we're really kind of manifesting quite quickly. So you might be sort of putting a thought, an idea out there, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 an opportunity is coming in where the thought or the realization that you had is actually turning into a reality, and that can be happening quite fast. Magician is really good because it's quite unique, it's quite rare, it's quite independent magic. So often shows up if someone's a little bit of a black sheep, or certainly seems like maybe a bit of an outsider or a bit of an outcast, and they're doing their own thing. They're not looking for acceptance, they're not looking for approval, they're not needy. They don't need to have any other person to give them authority or acceptance. They can just walk their path of life for themselves. And I think that's a really beautiful space to be in, when you can be real, when you can be authentic, when you can show up and be true for you. It's a big thing, you know. So a lot of people give the illusion of being that, but not that many people actually are like that. But Magician energy is really suggesting that you've got to a stage where you're valuing yourself, you're seeing yourself, and you're giving yourself the best experiences that the world, the universe has to offer. It's often a time period to sort of step through fear and step out of that and into the unknown. So maybe some of the choices or decisions could be a bit risky. There could be some sort of, risk taking involved, but they're going to pay off. Those decisions, those choices, those actions are going to definitely pay off. Sometimes it shows if someone's leaving a job and creating a whole new way of life. Could be a relationship that they've outgrown, could be just something completely new that they're turning their hand to, new skills, new understandings, new talents. But it's really doing what resonates in your heart, and it's being fabulous, and it's being quite unapologetic. It's doing things for yourself. So definitely a time of seizing magic, being magic is available for you guys. So I hope you can make sense of these cards. An interesting set of messages. What do I need to let you know about? A couple of things. So Foxy's Den is happening this Saturday, so I'll be tapping into my own magician energy, because it's always a little bit scary when you go up on stage, because you have no idea what's going to come out of your mouth. You have no idea what spirit are going to say, but literally I hand over to spirit and I entrust that they guide me in the ways that they need to. And usually we have a beautiful night. So doors open at 7 o'clock. Please don't come too early, because we will be setting up. Show starts at 7:30. There is a bar, so you can get a cheeky drink during, before or after the show. Mum will be there with her stall selling a whole host of beautiful sparkly goodies, so make sure you bring some extra pennies. And it's just going to be a lovely night, reconnecting you back with your loved ones in the world of spirit. We will be having some fun, so it's going to be great. If you're easily offended, just be aware that my nights are quite sparkly, they are quite fabulous, a bit camp, and there probably will be some swearing. So I always put that out as a bit of a disclaimer. So my style of mediumship is a little bit unconventional, but if people that come through used to swear quite a lot, chances are that's going to still be there in the spirit world. Things don't change that much, in my experience anyway. But it's going to be a really cool one. Just want to let you know as well, guys, a couple of things. Just, I don't want this to sound negative, but I'm getting quite a lot of people becoming quite a bit needy, a bit latchy-on-y with my energy. And please note that my services that I offer, whether it's Zoom sessions, whether it's at a show, whether it's at sort of like a voice recorded email reading, everything is done and channeled via spirit, and spirit love you, spirit see you. And I think that's really important, that you celebrate and you have that. And if my work via spirit has empowered you or made you feel better, amazing. But please note, it's not me personally. It's not how I necessarily personally feel towards people. That doesn't mean that I want to be nasty or harsh or horrible to anybody, but boundaries, okay? Professional reader, a medium and tarot connector, if you like, and clients. Let's not overstep, let's not merge. If friendships happen naturally, that's great, that's lovely, and it can be very unexpected but very fabulous. But I'm not here to be people's friends. I'm here to deliver a service. And just recently there's been a little bit of stuff going on where I'm a bit like, that's a little bit crossing a boundary, big orb, confirmation, that I'm not prepared to particularly tolerate. So just be a bit respectful of the fact that I am a professional, okay? You wouldn't have that happening in terms of if you went to like a doctor or a dentist or a counsellor. So I'm just going to put that out there. I want the best for people. I really want people to be enriched by my readings, but it's not how Mitch necessarily sees you personally. So I maybe don't want to go on a coffee date with you. I maybe don't want to go out for drinks with you. I maybe don't want to sort of become your new best friend. But if my reading has helped you, I'm all for that, because my job as a reader is done. So I'm just going to put that out there. Anyway, have a cool week. Look after yourselves. I'm really kind of welcoming those that are coming to my show on Saturday night. It's going to be amazing to see you there. And yeah, just keep shining bright. And I hope this week's messages help you. And take the love, take the magic for what they are. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye for now.